Why didn't you pick up the rabbit and put it outside?
I'm a soft touch judge. My daughter has always been able to get the better of me, I'm afraid.
What did she do to persuade you?
Just looked at me and said, "Oh, doesn't he look lovely indoors? You really can't put him outside now, can you?"
And you said, yes, I can.
Well, yes, I did.
That rabbit has got a nicer bed than I have.
Yes, he has, actually.
So I can understand it. He was in the house for about 2 years, certainly 18 months, with fairly minimal problems.
Yes, he did. He was a good rabbit at the beginning. And then things...
You got him with the wrong crowd? What happened?
I think he got bored with his surroundings.
Well, how did you know he was bored? Was he acting out?
Well, you can always tell when a rabbit gets bored.
Just pause for a second. How can you tell when a rabbit gets bored?
Well, he just sits there and cogitates. Just sits and he looks bored.
Are you telling me you'd be able to identify from a row of rabbits the one that was bored?
I think so, yes.
What's going on? Now, here's the thing. He did do some damage during that period, but you're not claiming for that.
No, that's fine.
Understood. And he seemed to have a bit of a penchant for your jeans.
Yes, he did.
Why, in what sense? Was he partial to wearing jeans?
No, he used to come and greet me, and then he would stand on his back legs, and then he would scrabble up your trouser leg and wanting a bit of affection or saying hello or goodbye. And then he got agitated because if you didn't say hello to him, so then he used to nibble all the bottoms of my jeans, so he got attention.
Now, in June 2017, you put a fence up in the garden. Is that right?
That's right,
and
yes.
that blocked Otis getting near the pond, am I right?
That's right.
Now, the point was, he did get near the pond and he damaged some flowers.
That's it, yes.
£30 for the new flower bed?
Yeah.
In addition to that, you say he damaged some skirting board.
That's right.
£75. That caused by Otis?
Indeed, Judge.
At the time that the rabbit was moved into the house, did you promise your father that you would cover all costs connected to the rabbit?
Yes, Judge.
Did you also, in your mind, include damages
No.
that Otis might cause?
No, Judge.
Do you know what he's got against jeans?
No, Judge.
How much were your jeans?
One pair was £85 and another pair...
£40.
Yes.
Now, you discovered at some point that there was some significant damage to the electrics in the house. When did you discover that?
Claire gave us a phone call to say that all the electrics in the house were down, the fridge was getting hot, the freezer was melting, and there was no electrics.
So consequently, Bob the electrician came over,
yes,
did he not?
Bob the electrician, yeah.
Let's see what Bob has to say. I'm a retired electrician and trained for 50 years. I received a call from Claire saying they didn't have any power in the house and asked if I could drive over to fix the electricity. When I arrived, I saw little nibble marks on the flat white cable supplying electricity in the house. The cable ran from the fuse box in the house into the garden and then into a socket near the pond. I could see that the rabbit nibbled off the plastic seathing of the cable, exposing the inner cables and eventually shutting down the trip in the fuse box. I believe it to be the rabbit that chewed the cable, as I could see teeth marks. It took me 45 minutes to make it safe again and have the power back on. My brother-in-law, Nigel, was away at the time, and after hearing what happened, generously paid me a small fee of £140. Did you pay that money?
Yes, I did,
Why
Judge.
do you not owe that money?
I don't feel like I should have to pay it, Judge.
Why not? It's your rabbit.
It's my dad, and I didn't feel like I would have to.
You knew that this thing could cause damage.
Yes, I did.
So why is it not your fault? You
Well-
could have picked it up at any time and said, outside.
No, I couldn't throw him back outside once he'd been living inside.
Because this is not a dangerous species, it's a domestic species, she can only be liable if the rabbit was likely to cause the kind of damage that occurred. Well, a rabbit is likely to cause that damage. What's more, the rabbit was likely to cause that damage because of characteristics not usual to that species. Well, that doesn't apply. This is law I'm reading out to you. Or lastly, the owner knew that the animal had those characteristics. Sir, very early on, you knew that this was a mischievous rabbit that would, for example, eat plants outside, that wouldn't necessarily listen. Because you were on notice that that could happen, at the time you allowed the rabbit to be in the house, you legally assumed the risk and consequently the financial responsibility in the event that anything went wrong. Now, I want to be clear, I have nothing but sympathy for your case, but your claim for all the damages of £370 as a matter of law has to be dismissed, and so I dismissed the case.
Nigel's claim was dismissed, and he was awarded nothing by the court. Let's find out how both parties felt about the judge's ruling.
Well, you got off lightly, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm very pleased with the outcome. In law, my dad didn't have a case, so hopefully I will get away with not having to pay the damages.
He was definitely a naughty bunny in my house, and I think you should have paid.
Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.